This is Chris Potatoes. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris. And subscribe to this channel, Chris Potatoes. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. So I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Friday Night SmackDown July 21st, 2023 reviews. So we're going to be discussing about tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Now we kick off the show where we see them showing the clips and stuff from last week's SmackDown with Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa and stuff, with them brawling and everything. But then after that, we just see the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman, the Bloodline, walking backstage. So yeah, Roman is there for tonight's SmackDown. But we kick off the show with the first match of the night. It was a Fatal 4-Way match. It was Rey Mysterio versus LA Knight versus Sheamus versus Cameron Grimes in a Fatal 4-Way United States Championship Invitational match. So yeah, that's what this match is all about. The United States Champion, Austin Theory, was at ringside for this match. Winner of this match will be facing Santos Escobar next week to determine who will be the number one contender for the United States Championship to face Austin Theory at SummerSlam for the title. So yeah, that's what this match is all about. But yeah, this Fatal 4-Way match, it was a pretty damn good match. A lot of stuff happened in this match. There was some cool spots in this. At one point, we see Rey Mysterio up there on the top turnbuckle. LA Knight climbs up there. He got some, and he's setting up for a superplex onto him up until we see Sheamus coming up, but Sheamus gets kicked upside the head by Cameron Grimes. So pretty much Sheamus gets his back towards LA Knight and Rey on the turnbuckle and stuff. But then Cameron Grimes comes up trying to hit like a Hurricanrana, I guess, onto Sheamus, but Sheamus pulls him back up like a powerbomb position. And while Sheamus got him up for like the powerbomb, Cameron Grimes grabs LA Knight for like a German suplex, and they hit this combination of a powerbomb, German suplex, superplex type move. Very cool stuff. LA Knight kind of like landed on Sheamus on his upper back and stuff, but like Sheamus was alright. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty cool spot though. During this match, we see Rey Mysterio and Cameron Grimes going at it outside the ring. Rey Mysterio hits a Hurricanrana onto Cameron Grimes towards Austin Theory, but Austin Theory moved out the way and stuff because he was sitting down in the chair. So Cameron Grimes hit the chair, and Austin Theory's looking at Rey Mysterio like, what the hell was that for, pretty much. And Rey just looks at him and goes like, you was sitting there, so you should have moved. So yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, then we started getting towards the end of the match where we see Rey Mysterio up there on the top turnbuckle. Cameron Grimes comes up there trying to hit like a superplex onto him. Sheamus comes up, picking up Cameron Grimes on his shoulders for like the electric chair, up until Cameron Grimes gets off of his shoulders, grabbing Sheamus from behind him. Rey Mysterio jumps off the top turnbuckle with a double Hurricanrana onto both of them, knocking them on the second rope. He comes up hitting the 619 onto both of them. Sheamus rolls out the ring while Rey jumps over the top rope with a big splash onto Cameron Grimes. He goes for the pin. 1, 2. The pin got broken up. Rey Mysterio got drugged out the ring by Austin Theory. Austin Theory throws Rey Mysterio into steel steps, just interrupting the match right there. Santos Escobar comes running down there. He starts attacking Austin Theory, beating him down and everything, throwing him over the barricade, just going after Austin Theory tonight. So yeah, that happened right there, and then we see LA Knight get into the ring, pretty much trying to take advantage of this opportunity. He hits that big old elbow drop onto Cameron Grimes, and then he gets back up. He was waiting for Cameron Grimes to get up to hit blunt force trauma onto him, up until we see Sheamus coming up, hitting a bro kick onto Cameron Grimes, onto LA Knight, taking him out, and then he turns around, he gets hit with a cave-in by Cameron Grimes when he jumped off the second turnbuckle, pretty much onto Sheamus, and then that's when Rey Mysterio comes in there, hitting the Hurricanrana onto him, into a pin, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Rey Mysterio defeated LA Knight, Sheamus, and Cameron Grimes tonight in the Fatal 4-Way United States Championship Invitational match. So yeah, next week on SmackDown, it will be Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar next week on SmackDown. So yeah, that match will be happening up next week. And there's a lot of NXT stars up here on SmackDown tonight. Like the Cavender Twins is up there. We see Wesley up there, Dragon Lee, and yeah, just a bunch of people was in the crowd tonight from NXT. But yeah, so yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. But before we talk about that match, we gotta talk about a few things. For one, I forgot to mention that LA Knight actually was talking before that Fatal 4-Way match. I forgot to mention that. And he was pretty much talking about how that he was going to win the Fatal 4-Way match, defeat everybody, and then go on to defeat Santos Escobar, and then go on to SummerSlam to beat Austin Theory to become the new United States champion, which obviously that didn't happen. So, yeah, I just forgot to mention that part. And speaking about that match, I forgot to give my rating for that match. I'll give it 4 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a good match to kick off SmackDown. But then, after that, we see Jey Uso walking backstage. So, yeah, Jey Uso is here tonight. He walked by Tony D'Angelo. And then we see a lot more people in the crowd from NXT, like Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. So, there you go. But, yeah, they was in the crowd for tonight. And then we see Austin Theory backstage, and he goes up to Adam Pearce, and he wants a match against Santos Escobar tonight. And Adam Pearce is like, "That's a great idea. You defend your United States Championship up against him." And Austin Theory is like, "No, I don't want to defend my title up against him. He didn't earn it. I just want a one-on-one match against him." And Adam Pearce is like, "You know what? Fine. You get the match." So yeah, later on tonight, Austin Theory versus Santos Escobar one-on-one in a non-title match. But then we get to the next match of the night. It was Charlotte Flair versus the Miss Money in the Bank winner, Io Sky, in a one-on-one match. Bayley was on commentary for this match. And this match, it was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth between Charlotte Flair and Io. And during this match, Charlotte was taking control of this match. Bayley gets up from the announce table pretty much, and she's trying to go up to distract Charlotte Flair, up until we see on the big screen that Shotzi is pretty much, playing mind games with Bayley and stuff, acting like she's around or whatever, with her cutting her hair and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's what Shotzi's doing. Bayley gets scared, and she goes like, I gotta get away from here. And then she goes backstage. And it was like, what the hell, pretty much. But then Io starts taking control of this match, laying out Charlotte and everything. She tried a moonsault at one point, but Charlotte moved out the way, so Io crashed and burned right there. But then we started getting towards the end of this match where both of them was on the top turnbuckle. Io then jumps off with a Hurricanrana onto Charlotte, getting a pin as well. She only got a 2 count out of it because Charlotte reversed into a pin for herself. But Io kicked out at 2, rolling her back over for a pin as well. And then Charlotte kicked out at 2, but as soon as she kicked out at 2, she hits natural selection onto Io Sky and then pinned her for the 3 count. So yeah, Charlotte Flair defeated Io Sky tonight on SmackDown. But then after the match ended, we see the WWE Women's Champion Asuka coming up, hitting a German suplex on the Charlotte, attacking her and everything, beating her down, kicking her in the face, and then locks on that armbar, hurting her arm. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff for that match. I'll give the match what happened after the match 3 stars. This one I'll give it was pretty good stuff. But then after that, we see the new NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio and the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, the Judgment Day backstage. They're getting interviewed and stuff, and Dominic was talking about how it's so great to be NXT North American Champion. And then his dad got brought up into it, and he goes like, "Look, if he does win the United States Championship, that's good for him because he gets to be champion of the whole United States. But I'm the champion of the whole North America and 23 countries and all that stuff." So yeah, that's what he was saying up until he gets interrupted by Butch. Butch comes up and he starts talking about like, it's great that you became NXT North American Champion, but how about this? We're pretty much where NXT is usually at, and I want a match up against you for the NXT North American Championship. Are you down? And Dominic pretty much did not want to do that match up until Shawn Michaels comes up and he says, "That match sounds pretty great. And you know what? You get your first title defense. Why not? Butch versus Dominic Mysterio for the NXT North American Championship." So yeah, that match got made right there. But yeah, up next we'll be seeing Austin Theory taking on Santos Escobar one-on-one up next on SmackDown. And still to come later on tonight, we got Roman Reigns on SmackDown with Jey Uso and stuff. Oh yeah, speaking about Roman Reigns, I forgot to mention this in one segment. We see Roman backstage, sitting down stuff. I got that necklace in his hand. Solo's looking at it, and then Roman looks at him, and Solo looks away. So yeah, pretty interesting right there. Good stuff though. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown. It was a one-on-one match, but before we talk about that match, we're going to talk about a segment backstage where we see Bayley and Io Sky talking, and Io Sky is wondering like why Bayley walked away from her match and everything, and Bayley was talking about Shotzi and everything up until she grabs her bag and she sees a picture on her bag with it stabbed with a pair of scissors. So yeah, that's what she sees there, and she's all freaked out by it. But yeah, then we get to the next match of the night. It was the United States Champion, Austin Theory versus Santos Escobar, one-on-one in a non-title match. And this match, it was a pretty damn good match. It was going back and forth and everything. At one point, there was a nice crossbody that Santos always does off the top turnbuckle. He hit it on Austin Theory, which was pretty damn nice, and he only got 2 count out of it. But then we started getting towards the ending of this match, where we see Austin Theory taking control of this match, and Theory's on the top turnbuckle. Santos Escobar jumps up there with him. Theory's trying to fight him off and everything, trying to knock him off the turnbuckle, but Santos is not going down, and Santos hits that big hurricanrana onto him off the top turnbuckle, which was so damn nice. I'm not even gonna lie, it was so beautiful. And then Santos hits that double knees onto Austin Theory in the corner, and then he picks him up on his shoulders, hitting the Phantom Driver onto Austin Theory, and then he pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Santos Escobar defeated the United States Champion Austin Theory tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. That's what happened. It was a damn good match. I'll give that match 3 stars. That's why I'll give it. Really good match between Santos Escobar and Austin Theory. But yeah, really damn good match right there. But then after that, we see Bobby Lashley talking to the NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams backstage, and yeah, he was just talking to him. But yeah, pretty interesting to see that right there. But up next, it will be the NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio versus Butch, one-on-one for the NXT North American Championship, up next on Friday Night SmackDown. So yeah, that match will be happening up next. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was the NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio with the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, the Judgment Day at ringside. So yeah, Dominic Mysterio was taking on Butch in a one-on-one match for the NXT North American Championship. So yeah, this match was going pretty good for the most part. Going back and forth between these two guys, but then eventually Dominic got a chain out of Rhea Ripley's hands because Ripley passed it to him, and then we see Ridge Holland coming up, taking the chain out of his hands. So yeah, Dominic was trying to cheat to win, but that didn't work out. Ridge Holland was at ringside for this match, but then eventually during this match we see Kit Wilson bringing down Elton Prince in a wheelchair. So yeah, Elton Prince got his shoulder separated from a match last week, where Ridge Holland hit a back body drop and Prince landed on his shoulder. So yeah, he separated his shoulder, but he's in the wheelchair. Pretty funny right there. But yeah, he comes down, and yeah, they're at ringside for this match for the most part. And Butch starts taking control of this match. He hits Dominic was trying to hit the 619 onto him, but Butch moved out the way. Dominic hits the ropes, but he gets hit with a German suplex by Butch. And then that's when Butch hits a double foot stomp onto his fingers and stuff. And then he kicks Dominic upside the head. He goes for the pin. 1, 2. Dominic barely kicking out at 2. But then, after that, we see Kit Wilson coming up, hitting a big forearm to the face of Ridge Holland. Butch gets out there and he hits Kit Wilson in the face. Kit Wilson starts running off. And then Ridge Holland and Butch was standing side by side with Elton Prince. Elton Prince looking at him scared, and he just takes off running. And then Ridge Holland's following him behind him, you know. So yeah, they're all gone from ringside. Butch then gets on the ring apron. Dominic comes up, he gets kicked upside the head by Butch. The referee's checking on Dominic, but then we see Rhea Ripley coming up, hitting a chop block to Butch's leg. And then Dominic comes up grabbing Butch, running him face first into the ring post, and then he brings him back into the ring, goes for the pin, 1, 2, 3, all over there. So yeah, Dominic Mysterio defeated Butch tonight, and he has retained the NXT North America Championship. That's what happened. It was a good match for the most part. I'll give that match 2.5 stars. That's why I'll give it good enough right there. But yeah, they got some matches announced next week, like Karrion Kross versus Carl Anderson and much more. So yeah, that's all next week. But yeah, then we see Jey Uso coming out there to the ring. So yeah, up next we're going to be seeing Jey Uso with Roman Reigns up next on Friday Night SmackDown. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on Friday Night SmackDown, now we get to the last segment of the night where it's like a contract signing pretty much with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. So yeah, Jey Uso comes out, and then we get the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, the Bloodline. They come walking out, and Roman tells Orlando, Florida to acknowledge him. They do pretty much. He sits down, Jey sits down, Solo and Paul is standing up, and Roman goes ahead and starts signing the contract and everything. And, he gets the contract signed, and he passes it over to Jey, and Jey just decides to rip up the contract. So yeah, he just decides to rip up the contract right then and there, and then pretty much he says that what they're going to do is pretty much they got the contract in their blood and stuff. Pretty much that's what he's saying. And he says that at SummerSlam he got to get him for what he did to his brother Jimmy. And he says that Roman brought it on to everybody and all that stuff, and Roman's making him do this. So yeah, that's what Jey said. And Roman just starts getting pissed off. The crowd is chanting and everything. And Roman tells the crowd to shut up, and he tells Jey to shut up as well. He says he's getting sick and tired of it and everything. And he's standing up at this point, and yeah, he gets the title put down onto the table. And he says, well, if you want it, sure thing, we can get it or whatever. And Jey says, I want a tribal combat now. And Roman's just looking at him, and Jey was like, anything goes pretty much. We can use chairs, candlesticks, put you through the table, all that stuff. I want to do that to you, and you know what? That's what I want. And Roman's just looking at him, and then they stepped up pretty much, and they get pretty much face to face and everything, shake hands on it kind of, and touch each other's heads or whatever. And yeah, it looks like it's official that at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns will be taking on Jey Uso 1-on-1 for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in a tribal combat. And not only if Roman Reigns not only he will lose the title, but he'll lose the tribal chief spot. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. He put that red necklace on top of the title and everything, which would look pretty cool. And yeah, Roman just looks at Jey all pissed off and everything. So yeah, the match is now happening at SummerSlam. Roman starts walking out the ring, about to walk out the ring, but then Solo Sikoa gets pissed off. He flips the table. He grabs Jey, about to hit the Samoan spike onto him, up until Roman stops him. And then that's when Jey comes up, hitting a super kick on a Solo, and Solo got knocked out the ring. And Roman and Jey standing there, staring at each other face to face. And then Roman gets out the ring. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment to end off the night. But yeah, at SummerSlam, the title was on the line in a Tribal Combat match. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But yeah, it was a pretty good show tonight for Friday Night SmackDown. I'll say match of the night was that Fatal 4-Way match. That match was a really good match. The last segment was a good segment and all that stuff. So yeah, tonight's episode of SmackDown was pretty good in my opinion. I'll give it 8.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good episode. But yeah, next week's episode of SmackDown, they got Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio. Winner of that match will be taking on Austin Theory for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. And not only that, they got Karrion Kross versus Carl Anderson and a lot of other stuff. So yeah, that's next week's episode. But yeah, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris. And subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. I'll be down there in the description box. And I'll see you guys later for this Monday's Monday Night Raw reviews and tomorrow night's AEW Collision reviews. I'll be talking about that tomorrow night, so yeah, look out for that. See you guys later. Until then.